Get this audiobook for free today at theaudiobook.co.uk.
Of my life, that youthful testament disappeared. Since then, I have simply lived my life to its fullest, until 2020 trapped me in Tuscany for 8 months, and I finally had the time to write it. With help from my loyal friends, many of whom have known me for most of that life, I've been piecing things together and teasing out memories from the deepest recesses of my mind. It's been a fascinating process. My partner of 53 years, Heather, finds such spilling out of all one's deepest, most personal thoughts and fears excruciating. She said, "Now don't let this book be like one of your Graham Norton interviews where all you do is talk smut. It's got to be about things that matter, Miriam." Heather is a serious person. Well, I can't please everyone all the time. But I honour the truth. And within these chapters you will find only truth, or at least my truth. There will be some smut, inevitably, and it might be a bumpy ride. But I promise you the real Miriam Margolyes. Daddy. Daddy was extremely handsome as a young man, despite being below average height. He had a high forehead, glossy black hair, a ravishing smile, and a little moustache. He looked rather like Charlie Chaplin. He was a very fine doctor, well-mannered, with a profound sense of right and wrong, and a strong Glasgow accent he never lost. He was an observant Jew, and he had no vices. A dram of whisky after the stars came out on Shabbos, Sabbath, was all he ever drank. He smoked the occasional cigar, never cigarettes. But he was a weak man. He was basically afraid. Afraid of confrontation of any kind, afraid of being overlooked, and yet unable to push himself forward. Of course, he didn't need to. My mother, Ruth, did all the pushing. I think she crushed him a little with her energy and ambition. Genealogy is my passion. It's being a detective in history. I have no family, no children, no husband, no parents, no brothers and sisters. Genealogy offers me the family I never had. I'm not a lonely person, but I need to investigate the past and find out about lost cousins. It's how I discovered that Mummy's fear of childbirth was based on fact, not just family lore. And when Daddy ended up with dementia, he forgot everything from his past. And so it has always been very important for me to remember where he came from. Let me tell you about the Margolyes family. Like many Scottish second-generation immigrant Jews, Daddy was born in 1899 in the great Glasgow slum, the Gorbals. He grew up in poverty in Govan Hill, a short walk from the city centre on the south bank of the Clyde. The firstborn child of Philip Margolyes and Rebecca née Turiansky. I never met my paternal grandfather. He died in 1937. But I did get to know my grandmother Rebecca quite well, as she lived till 1959. Grandpa Margolyes was born in 1874 in a small shtetl called Amdur, now Indura, in Belarus, which at that time was part of the Russian Empire. Anti-Jewish feelings started to gather and grow, and by 1880, large numbers of poor Jews had made their way across Europe. Many European Jews arrived in Scotland as a stopping post on their way to America. They spoke no English, had no idea about Scotland, and probably got out at the port of Leith in Edinburgh thinking it was New York, the Goldene Medina they dreamed of reaching. The sea captains encouraged them to disembark, so they could return more quickly for another boatload of immigrants. They ended up staying, settling...